Hi, this is a Abhyanga how-to self-oil massage. So Abhyanga has countless benefits, but one of its most profound is its ability to calm the central nervous system, to calm the mind, to ground the body. So if you're feeling really stressed, having a lot of anxiety, nervousness, if you keep chasing that thought around the hamster wheel, this is a really great practice to incorporate into your daily, weekly routine, especially through the fall and early winter, which we're in. So a few things that you'll need before getting started is you'll need a warm room. That way, when you're applying the oil, you're not contracting. You're able to really release and open up to the oil massage. You'll need a towel, preferably one that you don't mind designating to Abhyanga. It will accumulate oil over time. You need oil, a lot of oil. And then you'll need a way to warm the oil. So there's a couple of ways to warm the oil. You can get a mug and then have the oil in a smaller container. Put the oil in the mug. Pour really hot water in the mug. Let sit for about 5 minutes. Just being careful not to get any water inside the oil bottle. You can also do the same thing with a pot, heating hot water on the stove, putting some oil in it. I just find this to be a little easier. Or my preferred method, and to be honest, I don't know what this is called, but you buy it in the kitchen section of stores. It's actually meant to melt butter for seafood dipping, but it works quite well for Abhyanga oil. So you can just pour oil into this. There's a little tea light down here that you light it for 5 minutes, and then you just kind of scoop the oil out versus pumping it from the oil bottle. It's a little more messy, but it's fun to be messy. So you'll have your warm room, a towel, and warm oil. And then you want to move through Abhyanga with slow motions, intentional movements. Once you start rushing just to get the oil on the body, that is triggering the fight or flight nervous system, and we're trying to calm the fight or flight nervous system, so it becomes pretty counterproductive. So just moving slowly, intentionally, trying to connect to yourself, give yourself time to nurture and love. So you'll have the warm oil, and since we are working to ground the body down, we'll start at the crown of the head and move down towards the feet from there. And you want to be very generous and liberal with the oil so that it can really soak through the 7 layers of skin into bone, tissues, not skin necessarily. 7 layers of tissue and bone. So you will apply oil to the palm of your hand, and then starting at the crown of your head, just going in a circular direction. Keep applying more oil as you go. Circular motions from the scalp line going through the hair, circular through the hair, circular through the hair, all the way around. Getting more oil. And then sweeping motions across the forehead. And again, moving very intentionally and slowly. There are a lot of marma or acupressure points along the face, especially along the brow line, at the tips of the brow, into the temple, the base of the nostrils, the jaw. We hold so much tension and stress in our face, our jaw, our neck. So just really giving some extra love in this area if you have the time. So sweeping forehead motions, maybe circular motions around the eye orbit, tracing the eyebrow down around, back up. Circular motions over the temples, maybe sweeping back up through the hair. And then down the jawline, maybe hitting those marma points at the base of the nostrils, back up, circular motions. This is really great for headaches. And then the jaw, not living out the jaw. Kind of squeezing the jawline here and just kind of pulling it up. And then getting more oil for your ears. You never want to leave out the ears. It's kind of incredible how much tension they hold, which you don't realize until you start massaging them. Maybe scissoring with your finger and the front and back of the ear. There's a lot of muscles that attach behind the ear, massaging the ear itself. If you don't have acute or chronic ear pain, you can get oil on your fingertips and gently putting some oil in the ear canal. And this is, please do not jam your finger into your ear. This is more the external area. And then the same with your nostrils, your nasal passages. There is another routine that you can do called nausea, which we will cover later, where we are applying oil up into the nasal passages. But for the sake of Abhyanga, you can just gently run around the base of the nasal passages. More oil. Sweeping across the front of the throat. This is really great for the thyroid, getting into the pec area, circular motions into the pecs. And then the general rule for the remainder of the body is circular motions over joints, long sweeping motions over long bones, but not leaving out the torso. So there is a lot of stagnation that can occur in breast tissue. So definitely not leaving out the breast tissue. You don't want to be aggressive to the point where it's painful, but you don't want to be super gentle either. So you really want to get into the breast tissue, really move that stagnation around so that it can find its way to the lymph nodes. And then the stomach, you want to move in a circular direction going clockwise. That's the direction of digestion. So this is just helping to aid that digestive process. And then sweeping down the sides. It's hard to reach your own back, but kind of reaching what you can, long sweeping motions down the back, circular maybe over the sacrum. And then the arms, again, circle over joints, maybe going the other direction, long sweeping down the arms, circle over the joints. And then not leaving out your hands, especially since we are texting and typing all the time now, giving a little extra love if you have the time. So circular over the joints, long sweeping over the long bones, not leaving out the palms. And then the same for your lower body. Circles over the hips, really getting into them, going the other direction, long sweeping down the long bones, circles over the joints. And then not leaving out your feet, just like the hands, getting into each joint if you can. Not leaving out the palms of the feet. And then once you are nice and oiled up, you can lie out. You can do this either seated or standing on your towel. And then once you're nice and oiled, you can have a seat, lie down completely, and then just take a few minutes if you have it to take some deep grounding breaths, maybe do some meditation. And when you're ready, hop into the bath or the shower, just making sure that you wipe your feet first. The oil makes them very slippery, so you don't want to fall. And it's best to avoid using soap on days that you do Abhyanga so that we can keep all that oil on the skin. It's so good for your skin. And if you're going to wash the oil out of your hair, a trick to get it out, otherwise you'll spend about 5 times trying to get it out, is to apply shampoo first before the water hits the hair. It'll make a kind of a weird texture, but it'll make it a lot easier to get the oil out, the excess oil out. But I hope that you try this, and especially if you're feeling a lot of stress and anxiety, I hope that you do it a few times a week. Enjoy!